You open your phone. You scroll for a few minutes. Put it down. Pick it up again 30 seconds later. You boot up a game you used to love. Play for maybe 10 minutes. Close it. You lie on your bed, not tired, not awake, just somewhere in between. And the strange part isn't any of those things on their own. The strange part is that somewhere in the back of your mind, you're completely aware of it happening. You can see yourself wasting the day. You know there are things you could be doing, things you actually wanted to do once, and you still can't move. If that felt uncomfortably specific, stay with me. Because what you're experiencing isn't laziness. It isn't a bad mood. It isn't even boredom in the way most people use that word. There's something actually happening to your brain, and once you understand what it is, really understand it, the way you see yourself is going to change. Think back to when you were younger, maybe 10, 12 years old. You'd get absorbed in something, a game, a book, building something, just being outside, and time would disappear. Hours would pass and it didn't feel like time at all. It just felt like being alive. That feeling had a name. It didn't need one then. You didn't need to understand it. You just had it. Now think about the last time you felt that. Not just, that was okay. Not, I guess I enjoyed that. Actually absorbed. Actually in something, where the rest of the world stopped existing for a while. For a lot of people watching this, that feeling has become rare. Or it's gone entirely. And the most painful part isn't even the absence of joy. It's that you can still remember what it felt like. You can remember caring. You can remember wanting things. And now you're sitting there watching yourself not care, and you don't fully understand why. That gap between who you were and who you are now is what this video is actually about. There's a word for what you're experiencing. Most people have never heard it. It's called anhedonia. It comes from the Greek. It literally means without pleasure, and it describes the loss of ability to feel enjoyment from things that used to bring it. Now here's what's important. Anhedonia isn't just depression. You don't have to be sad to have it. You can feel completely neutral, not low, not high, just flat, like the volume of everything got turned down without anyone asking you. And researchers are now identifying a specific modern version of this. It was named in a peer-reviewed paper published just last year. They're calling it digital anhedonia, the diminished ability to find pleasure in real-world experiences after prolonged digital saturation. Read that again slowly. The diminished ability to find pleasure in real-world experiences after prolonged digital saturation. This isn't a personality flaw. This isn't weakness. This is a measurable neurological adaptation that is happening to your brain in response to the environment you're living in. And the environment is the key word here. Because here's what nobody tells you. Your brain has a reward system. And that system was never designed for the world you're living in right now. Your brain's reward system evolved over hundreds of thousands of years. And it was built on one rule: effort first, reward second. You hunt, you eat, you build something. You feel accomplished. You connect with someone. You feel belonging. The effort and the reward were always linked. That link is what made dopamine feel good. That link is what made life feel meaningful. Now think about what's happened to that system in the last 10 years. Infinite scroll, autoplay, notifications, algorithms that have been engineered by some of the most brilliant minds on Earth to keep you in a loop of frictionless stimulation. Every like, every new video, every message, every short clip with a punchline in 6 seconds. Your brain gets a small hit of dopamine. No effort required. Just scroll. And here's the part that matters. Your brain is adaptive. It's always adapting. When it notices it's getting dopamine constantly, easily, without effort, it starts to compensate. It reduces its own sensitivity. It lowers the baseline. Because from your brain's perspective, if rewards are coming constantly for free, they're not actually rewards anymore. They're just noise. So what happens next? The easy things stop feeling as good. You need more stimulation to feel anything at all. And the things that used to work, the slow things, the real things, the things that require patience and presence, those start to feel impossible. Gaming feels slow. Movies feel long. Conversations feel draining. Your hobbies feel like work. Not because those things changed, because your threshold changed. You've been living in a world of constant artificial stimulation, and your brain quietly recalibrated to treat that as normal. Now, when reality shows up, with its actual textures, its slower pace, its genuine uncertainty, your brain doesn't know what to do with it. And here's the part that makes this feel like a trap. What do you do when you feel flat and empty? You reach for your phone, you scroll, you look for a hit of something. And it works, for about 4 minutes, just enough to take the edge off. But every time you do that, you're deepening the desensitization. You're widening the gap between what your brain needs to feel something and what real life can offer. You're not escaping the feeling, you're feeding it. This shows up in quiet ways that most people don't connect. You start something and abandon it faster than you used to. A show, a game, a conversation, a project. Because the payoff isn't immediate, and your brain has learned to expect immediate. You feel guilty about wasting time but can't stop. Because the guilt is just another uncomfortable emotion, and the phone is right there to take it away. You feel lonely even when you're around people. Because real human connection is slow, sometimes awkward, and requires emotional investment that your exhausted reward system doesn't have the energy for. You lose interest in things you used to identify with. The games you loved. The music that used to mean something. The places you used to want to go. And slowly, quietly, you start to lose track of who you actually are. Because who you are is partly built from what you love. And when nothing feels like yours anymore, that question becomes genuinely hard to answer. Here's what concerns researchers most. This isn't just about feeling bored. A reward system that's been chronically desensitized doesn't just affect enjoyment. It affects motivation. It affects your ability to pursue goals that take time. It affects your relationships, because intimacy is slow. It affects your ability to tolerate discomfort, which is the foundation of almost every meaningful thing in life. And the generation living through this most intensely is your generation. Research published in 2025 describes this as an active reshaping of brain development. Not just a behavioral habit, but a structural neurological change, particularly in the regions that govern emotional regulation and impulse control. The platforms weren't designed to hurt you, but they were designed to keep you. And the cost of keeping you, that's something that's only becoming visible now. So where does that leave you? I want to be honest here. I'm not going to tell you to delete all your apps, go for a walk, drink water, and suddenly feel like yourself again. Because if it were that simple, you would have done it already. What I will tell you is this: the sensitivity isn't gone, it's suppressed. And the research is clear that it can come back, not through punishment, not through forcing yourself to enjoy things, but through gradual reduction in the artificial stimulation your brain has been living on. Think of it like eyes adjusting after a bright light. When you step outside after being in a dark room, everything is blinding. You can't see properly, but given time, your eyes recalibrate. Given enough quiet, your brain does the same thing. What that looks like practically, it means choosing slightly more friction, not eliminating pleasure, choosing slower pleasure. A game that requires actual thought. A movie you watch without your phone. A walk without earphones. A conversation where you're genuinely present. Not because these things are immediately more enjoyable. They won't be at first. But because every time you choose them, you're giving your reward system a chance to recalibrate. To remember what low stimulation satisfaction feels like. To rebuild the sensitivity that's been worn down. It takes longer than a scroll. But what it gives you back is the ability to actually feel the things that used to matter. And there's something else worth knowing. The fact that you even notice the emptiness, the fact that you can feel that something is wrong, that's not nothing. Anhedonia at its worst removes even the awareness that something is missing. The people who struggle most are the ones who don't know they're struggling. You know, that matters. If this felt uncomfortably familiar, you're probably not alone. Most people walking around right now are living some version of what we talked about today, and most of them have never had a name for it, or an explanation for why it feels the way it does. Now you do. And if even one part of this helped you understand yourself a little better, that's what this was for. If this is something you've been feeling, I'd be curious to know. Drop it in the comments. Not for engagement, just because sometimes it helps to know you're not the only one.